Concentration and relaxation. This is the lecture number 21 of the 50 lectures that compose the phase A of the self-knowledge course. And the objective of today's lecture is that we learn to develop that power, the power of concentration. That is the one that will allow us to make that a consciousness can manifest in our daily lives. Because be concentrated and being relaxed is to stay in the here and now. And here and now is the only place and the only moment in which our consciousness can express itself in us. Okay, and as I was saying, it will allow us to be successful in everything that we undertake, and above all, that we start being successful in the practices that we do to awaken our consciousness. Okay, also today we are going to be learning what relaxation is and how to apply it, and we will learn today a very interesting practice that will allow us to develop our capacity to stay concentrated and relaxed. And this is a practice that is called watching and praying. So today we are going to be learning that. So let's start by explaining what is concentration. As you can see here, the very word concentration is showing us that we are concentrated when our consciousness is centered in action. That is concentration. That we make that conscious effort, so our consciousness is there, focused in what we are doing. We are concentrated when our attention is focused on what we are doing. When we are concentrated, you do everything consciously. Okay, so it is your conscious part that is carrying out that activity that you are doing. And concentration is a very great power that will allow us to be successful in everything that we do. Not doing things concentrated is the reason why we constantly make mistakes and that things don't usually go the way we want. It is also the reason why we usually don't have enough time to complete the different tasks we must do, since distraction, which is the opposite to concentration, leads us to waste a lot of time. And furthermore, distraction is the cause of accidents. It is also the reason why many times the practices such as meditation, astral projection, sexual alchemy, etc. Don't give positive results. So it is very important that we learn to concentrate. So we must begin by understanding that as long as we are distracted, our consciousness cannot manifest in us, because concentration is from consciousness while distraction is from the ego. As you start self-observing yourself, you're going to discover that the ego, your psychological defects, are the ones that are all the time there trying that you get out of focus. So because that way they can possess your human machine and they can feed on your energy. But we are so used to being distracted. Actually, that is like a vice for us to be there with something distracted, okay? That concentration seems like boring to us most of the time, right? And this is because the ego hates concentration. Since in concentration, in the present moment, in the here and now, only consciousness is expressed. So our ego, our psychological defects are going to be there fighting for to take us out of the here and now, out of the state of concentration, so that consciousness cannot manifest. So if we start studying distraction, making ourselves aware of what is distracting us, or why are we all the time trying to distract ourselves, we will end up in concentration. We need to reflect a little that we are like all the time like running away from something, running away from pain, running away from the present moment, because we don't want to face what is hurting right now. So what we do is that we run away and we distract ourselves with anything, with a cell phone, with our thoughts in our minds. We are wondering, we are projecting, we are remembering, but we are not here. Why? What is the reason why we cannot be like in peace, like experiencing happiness just by being here, just by living the present moment? So we need to start studying this, because if we are there all the time, like just running away, we are never going to make our lives better. We are never going to make conscious the unconsciousness of our existence. Okay, so if we observe every detail that take us out of the present moment, out of the here and now, and we start eliminating with psychological death, everything that distracts us from moment to moment, we will undoubtedly remain in constant concentration, which means that we will be rescuing every time more and more consciousness, because every time that we ask for death, that we ask our Divine Mother to eliminate a defect that is manifesting there in our thoughts, or that is manifesting in our emotion, making us feel this or that in our body, making us feel this tension, this boring sensation, this anxiety. When we start eliminating that, asking our Divine Mother to eliminate everything that we can observe, we are rescuing consciousness, we are rescuing self-power, we are rescuing the capacity to be the owners of our human machine, and that is the consciousness that can live here and now in a conscious way. There we can start experiencing what is peace, what is happiness, and that is the purpose of getting to know ourselves. But what happens that we usually confuse concentration with being immersed in something. For example, we believe that we are very concentrated when we are, for example, there in our cell phones, doing nothing else but there watching a video, laughing, or when we are there, playing a video game, and we are doing nothing more than that, right? And we are there immersed in that video game, or we are working on something in our computer, for example, and we are there doing nothing more than that, and we can tend to think that we are concentrated. But the key to really be concentrated is to be first in self-observation, because if we really observe ourselves when doing those things, we are going to realize that we are actually very distracted. I would even say that at that moment we tend to be completely forgetful of ourselves. And to be concentrated is to be there, living the present moment. We can be doing those things, but at the same time, we are feeling multiple emotions that we are not aware of. We are feeling a lot of tensions that we are not aware of, sensations. We are having many mechanical thoughts at that moment, and therefore we are not really focused on doing something. But a lot of psychological defects are there manifesting in us at that moment. So to be focused on an action, we must be alert. We must be aware of ourselves, feeling that we are here inside our body, feeling our heart, feeling our life. And from there, from that self-awareness state, we can then carry out any action that we are going to do in a concentrated way. We are going to do what we have proposed to do, but without the participation of the ego, without allowing our mind to wander in thoughts, without letting the ego distract us with tensions or emotions of pleasure or displeasure, and above all, eliminating all that inner chatter that constantly occurs in our minds. If we do so, we can remain in concentration, in that inner silence of full presence. We can carry out any activity fully concentrated, and we can be successful in that activity. So how we can achieve concentration? Well, to achieve concentration, we must make conscious efforts to observe ourselves at all times. That is the first thing. Two is because when we are self-observing, we are able to discover and we are able to eliminate everything that wants to lead us to distraction. So for anything we are gonna do, we must make the effort of maintaining a single thought. That is, focus only on what we are gonna do without letting the mind, wander into different thoughts, but there, control the mind here, doing this, right? And we must manage to keep all our energy centers working in unison around what we are doing. For example, we are there, our mind is concentrated there in what we are doing. We are not, for example, right now, you are watching this lecture, right? And if you are at the same time thinking what you're going to do later, or thinking, remembering something that someone told you, or chatting in your mind about what I am talking, or whatever, you are not concentrated, so because your mind is there wandering, right? But you make the effort to be here, only focused on watching this video, on listening on the topic that we are sharing today. And what the other energy centers must be there working. So the emotional center must there be providing the correct mood to carry out that activity. So if you are feeling anything in your emotional part, I don't know, boring, I don't know, anxiety, I don't know, whatever, yeah, or emotion that makes you lose energy, you are going to be there eliminating that so you can remain focused here, right? The motor center must be focused only on the activity that you are doing. You cannot be like watching the video and be at the same time talking with someone else, doing something, checking on the, I don't know, another some message, or doing something else because you are not focused. So to really be focused in something, to be concentrated here and now, you must be there. Your mind, your emotional center, your motor centers, that are your actions and your words, must be working, here, all the energy centers. And if we maintain that state of present self-control, the instinctive center will begin like to capture the deep meaning of what you are doing, and you are going to start to feel like inspired, because inspiration will come from the higher emotional center, and you are going to begin to truly enjoy whatever you are doing if you do that concentrated, even though it is something that you don't like to do. Like, for example, I don't know, washing the dishes. Not everyone likes washing the dishes, but if you do that for the first time in a very concentrated way, there with the correct mood, with the only focusing your mind there, in your motor center just there, you are going to start like feeling the inspiration. You are going to start really enjoying what you are doing. The sexual center will contribute its creative capacity, and thus the wisdom of our consciousness from the superior intellectual center, from here the pineal gland, will manifest to us, and we are going to be successful in what we are doing, whatever it is. For example, if you are concentrated right now, listening, learning from that lecture, and you are there, just fully here, then the light will come from the superior intellectual center, and you are going to capture the deep meaning of this lecture, and you are going to receive the light from your inner father. You're going to understand the importance of this lecture and how to apply it. That is the magic that is in concentration, because consciousness knows everything and makes everything perfect, because here we have the source of all wisdom. Okay, so we have to discover and we have to enjoy being present, focused with our consciousness, directing every action that we make. And to do this, we must start like a war, right? Against the ego, against the psychological defects that will constantly be there, trying to distract us, trying to keep us asleep. We're with our consciousness asleep, and we do so asking, our Divine Mother to eliminate, disintegrate every psychological defect that is leading us to be distracted. That is the way to be concentrated. Now, there are two types of concentration, one on the inner world and the other on the outside world. And both of them are very important. But to be able to do things in the external world in a concentrated way, it is absolutely necessary that we learn how to maintain inner concentration, that we develop that ability not to be wandering all the time, to not letting our consciousness fall asleep, but to be constantly in self-remembering. And just as it is important to develop concentration, to carry out the activities that we do in our daily lives, so as not to make mistakes, or as not to have accidents, and to be successful in everything that we do in our daily lives. Likewise, it is very important to develop that inner concentration to be successful in our esoteric practices, such as meditation, astral projection, retrospection, karma negotiation, suprasexuality, etc., etc. Now, let's look at some points that are important to keep in mind to practice concentration. You can see them here. First, when we are doing anything that we are doing, we must always make an effort to do one thing at a time. When we try to do a lot of things at the same time, we are really not concentrated in none of them. So we are not really going to be successful. So let's make an effort to do one thing at a time. And while we are doing that thing, don't think about anything else, but maintain our mental center there, focused, okay? Our mind focused on what we are doing. And try as much as possible not to interrupt what we are doing to do something else, or try not to be doing two things at a time, that we are cooking and we are at the same time watching, I don't know, YouTube or watching TikTok or whatever. We are not concentrated. So let's not, do one thing at a time. Try not to interrupt what you are doing. If you are there practicing astral projection, for example, and you are there, you must be doing only that, not at the same time thinking, remembering, I don't know, stopping the practice to go to check if the light is off or whatever. No, just there, focused on what you are doing. And when you are doing that, try not to think about, try not to go to the future, to think what you are going to do later, because that will take you out of the present moment, taking you unnecessarily to the future. The concentration is here, now, in what I'm doing. And the same, don't go to the past. You are here, you don't need to be remembering things that have already been done, because that will take you out of the state of concentration, unnecessarily taking you to the past. So the key is to stay focused on what you are doing in the present moment. If we try to do this with all the activities that we carried out during the day, something magical will happen. And it is that we will remain in an awakened state, like alert the whole day. Consciousness will be manifesting in us in each activity that we do, and we are going to make great progress in the work of psychological death and in the balance of our energy centers, because we are going, as we are there, as consciousness is manifesting, as we are in self-observation at every moment, we are like there observing and eliminating many psychological defects, a large number of psychological defects that manifest in us daily, and we will be releasing large amounts of consciousness. That is the magic of concentration. Actually, if we observe, when we start self-observing, we discover how the multiple activities of our daily lives are done like in mechanical way. Because when we do them, we are mentally and emotionally in another place. We are actually like zombies, because we are not really experiencing the actions. But when we are doing something, we are thinking about something very different. We wake up in the morning and immediately unstoppable train of thoughts and unstoppable train of emotions begins. And from the very moment that we open our eyes, we start planning or looking to distract ourselves with anything, with our cell phone, for example. We brush our teeth, but we are not there. We are not there brushing our teeth. We are not living the action. Actually, we are there mechanically, like a zombie, in our mind in another place. So it's the same the whole day. We are doing something, but our mind is somewhere else. Therefore, we are doing things mechanically, totally distracted. We don't observe ourselves from moment to moment, and that means that our consciousness is asleep. And why? Well, due to lack of use, because we never put our conscious part into activity. We do things with a sleeping consciousness. That is why we are incapable of self-discovery, and we cannot really get to know ourselves. That is why we are unable to observe and eliminate our psychological defects, our egos, because we are distracted all the time. And due to this, we cannot see all the egos that mechanically participate in each action that we do. The ego always seeks to keep us distracted with endless thoughts, mental chatter, music in our mind, worries, etc., so that we don't know ourselves, so that we don't observe ourselves. And to help us, this is very important, to help us to carry out all the activities in a concentrated way, it is highly recommended that every day we take like a few minutes to make an activity schedule. You can do it if you want to write it, or you can do it in notes in your cell phone. But it is very good to start having like an order of our days, that like with the different activities that we have to do during the day, and in the order or the schedule in which we're going to do them. And because will help us to not to have to plan as we go, or not having to think about what we have to do later, but we can focus on doing each action, each activity in a concentrated way at each moment. I'm gonna do this and later this, and okay, I already know, and I just dedicate, to do everything in a concentrated way. We are also gonna see that by having an organization, we will have enough time to do all the things that we need to do, because we are going to be less distracted. And well, it's important, of course, to prioritize in our agenda the different practices to awaken our consciousness, the ones that we are going to do during the day. What time we're going to meditate, at what time am I going to do my transfer of funds, at what time am I going to do the watching and praying practice that we are going to learn today. That is very important, because if we leave these important practices for when we have time left, and we always give like priority to the things of the personality will end up encompass all the time, and with an established order for the day, we can just dedicate ourselves to do everything in a concentrated way, staying focused in the present moment, living the action that we are doing, and constantly eliminating everything that wants to take us out of the state of concentration. If we do this, if we make the effort to stay focused, we will see how this will positively affect all our practices for the awakening of consciousness, and especially our conscious astral projection practices. Because if we are concentrated during the day, practicing self-observation and psychological depth, at every moment we are going to be present during the day. The consciousness will be active during the day, and by law of correspondences, at night we will continue to be concentrated. We will be able to become conscious much more easily when we move to the astral plane, because if we are asleep during the day, during the night, the same. If we don't have consciousness during the day, we are not going to be conscious of ourselves When we go, we are going to continue to be distracted and we are going to dream. But if we are there with our consciousness in action during the day, when we go at night and we start making our astral projection practices, we are going to have a better capacity to stay concentrated, to make ourselves aware when we are making that transition when the physical body is falling asleep and we are unfolding ourselves to the astral plane, or if we just fall asleep, we are going to, as we were practicing during the day, to be concentrated, to be here and now in self-awareness. When we are there during a dream and something weird happens, so we are here and in dreams we are not here, but just a second before we are somewhere else, we are going to be like, okay, what happens? I am in a dream, and we can make ourselves conscious that we are in the astral plane, and that is a result of being concentrated during the day. Because if we are concentrated during the day, we will be concentrated at night. That is something very important. And now let's analyze relaxation, because that is something that is also very important. As it is important to be concentrated, it is important to be relaxed, because actually to be concentrated you must be relaxed, and to be relaxed you must be concentrated. They go hand in hand. Okay. And what is concentration? What is relaxation? Sorry. Relaxation is not having any tension, whether bodily, emotional, mental or sexual tension. No tensions. When you are out of tensions, you are relaxed. Actually, the natural state of consciousness is relaxation. Consciousness is a state of increasingly relaxation, which is why the ego always seeks to stress us, because only in a state of tension can the ego remain in the physical body, feeding on our energy. When we are tense, we are there like giving all our energy to our psychological defects. So we must learn to observe what are the things that constantly cause us tension. Okay, we are during the day with a lot of tensions. That is why we feel at the end of the day like drained, because we are all the day with tensions here, contraction, etc. And if we study this, among the things that cause us tensions are, for example, each of the multiple desires that we feel during the day. We are there feeling desires. Each desire comes from a psychological defect, and each one comes with attention. Also, the negative emotions. We have plenty of negative emotions, and they keep us in tension. The psychological songs that we are there all the time remembering with resentments, they are tensions, mental tensions, emotional tensions. When we enter in a wrong inner state, we are tense. The constant thoughts that overwhelm and stress our mind, we must observe them. When we are worried, we are in a lot of tension. When we are there in an inner chatter, that constant inner chatter, we are tense. And when we have like this, when we are facing some indecision, the fight between the different psychological defects, trying to be the one who guide the human machine, we are there tense. We are all the time, the whole day, feeling multiple tensions, and we must observe ourselves so that we can realize how we spend the whole day stressed. And we must start to realize how, in that way, we are terribly damaging our body and our energy. We commonly arrive at the end of the day exhausted, because throughout the day we have been tense and stressed. So it is very important to learn to observe when we are tense and learn to relax, as well as learn to do a specific relaxation process before doing our practices. We must learn to be relax. And well, how can we stay in a constant relaxation? Well, the first thing will always be to observe ourselves. That is the key to everything, since only when we are self observing, we can identify when we are tense, and we can identify the defect that is causing that state of tension. And the second thing will be to understand how that defect that is there manifesting in us is draining our energy unnecessarily and is damaging us. For example, I am start feel anxiety, feel anxious. Why? Because I'm worried. Because I think I will not have enough money to pay for the rent, and that is due tomorrow, etc., etc. And there, I am tense. If I am self-observing, I can discover that I am tense. That the cause is the anxiety, but the deep inside is being worried about something that will happen tomorrow, something that I think is out of control. There, a lot of defects are manifesting right now. If I can observe them, make myself aware that they are psychological defects and that they are draining my energy and that they are there making me stay in this state of anxiety, worry, I start eliminating each one of them, asking my divine mother, my mother, eliminate this defect, kill this defect from me, whatever you want to say it, and you release the tension, you are going to see the light. You're going to experience how everything will change inside you. The air is going to be like more pure. We could even, when we ask our Divine Mother to eliminate a defect that is causing us attention, to imagine how fire is directed at that area. For example, we are feeling the tension here, or here, or here, and we ask my mother to eliminate this defect. We imagine fire that is go there and burns that defect and dissolves the tension in that area. Okay, but what we need to know that is necessary to understand why we are tense for the mother to act, eliminating the defect. Okay, we must observe if what is stressing us is a worry, or is a displeasure, or is a mental chatter, or is a desire, or is whatever. And once we discover the defect, we disintegrate that defect and we free ourselves from that state of tension. And how do we know that we are already relaxed? Well, easy. We are relaxed when all tensions has disappeared and our psychology has normalized. When we feel good and we can focus on what we are doing. There we are already relaxed. And well, as you can see, that is concentration, that is relaxation. The key is always to observe ourselves, to make ourselves conscious of what is distracting us, of what is tensing us, and eliminate those psychological defects to remain in the present moment, in the here and now, experiencing the real peace and experiencing the real happiness. That is the key. And well, I want to teach you right now a very important practice that will allow you to develop your ability to concentrate. And this practice is called watching and praying. Yes, as Master Jesus taught that we must watch and pray. Actually, watching is doing things awake, concentrated. And praying is begging our Divine Mother to eliminate every defect that appears and that doesn't allow us to concentrate. Is being praying is like the desire to be or the self-remembering. Okay, so this practice, watching and praying, we can do it like daily. Yes, a minimum of 20 minutes a day, so that we begin to exercise the ability to stay focused and relaxed. It is a very, very simple practice. First, if we have the right space, we can do the belly link and the magic circle that we learned in lecture 7 of this course. I say if you have the place, because if, for example, you are going, I don't know, in a bus and you are there, you don't have the space, well, okay, you don't do the belly linen, the magic circle, you just concentrate and make the practice. But if you're, for example, in your house and you have the place to do the belly linen, the magic circle, just do it, okay? Because they help you to clean the environment from any heavy energy and to close the place where you are so the heavy or negative energies do not enter that place, okay? And you can be more concentrated in a clean space, okay? And well, what is always important is to request for assistance to your inner father and your divine mother to help you in the practice with your own words. Just direct your attention to your heart and ask your inner father, your divine mother, to assist you to be successful in the practice. And then you proceed to relax your physical body, observing that the entire body, is comfortable. And afterwards, you are going to focus on your heart to listen and to observe your inner world. That is, you're going to make the effort to be concentrated there in your heart, observing what is going on in your inner world. And for each psychological defect that you observe that wants to distract you from that state of wakefulness, that wants to lead you to think in anything, to feel, to move, or whatever, you're going to ask your divine mother to eliminate it. And you return there to the concentration on your heart. If you start thinking, it is a defect that is thinking. It's the ego talking there. So you observe it. My mother, eliminate this, and you remain focused here. Feeling anything, pleasure, anything pleasant or unpleasant, you eliminate that, and you return here to the heart. You feel any itchy thing, whatever, you eliminate that. You're going to discover it is a defect trying to distract you. You eliminate that and return to the concentration on your heart. That is the practice, and this can be done until perfect concentration is achieved, until you manage to be there, just concentrated, and nothing distracts you. And that is the practice. You can see it's very simple, but at the first it's going to be hard, very hard, because we are so used to be distracted that for us it is boring to be concentrated and a pleasure to be, out of ourselves, forgetful of ourselves. But as we exercise, as we make this practice, we are going to be eliminating the defects that want you to be distracted, and you are going to start knowing what is real, what really is peace, what really is to enjoy, to be present, to enjoy, to be full of consciousness, okay? And well, that is the practice. As you can see, it's very simple. You can do this practice whenever you want. You will discover how your ability to concentrate will improve and how your ability to stay in self-remembering will sharpen, okay? And well, this has been the topic of today. I want to thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for all of you who watched the video. Hi, Kibubich, how are you? And well, I want to invite you to the next topic that we are going to be studying tomorrow, and in which we are going to be talking about meditation. Very important conference in which we are going to be understanding what meditation is, what it is for, what types of meditation exist, and we will be learning about a very important meditation technique that is called reflective meditation. That type of meditation will allow us to achieve great and significant changes in our psychology and in our lives. So thank you very much to all of you, and well, see you the next time. Bye bye.